Hello everyone, welcome to ETimes, and today we've got none other than Sushmita Sen with us, and we're going to talk about her new show, season 2 of Aarya on Hotstar. Welcome Sushmita, welcome to ETimes. How are you doing?
Very, very well. Rachit, how lovely to speak with you. Finally, it's good to be back in India and just in time for the release of season 2.
Right, that's great. So Sushmita, I'm just going to shoot into the first question. What's the big difference between season 1 and season 2 of Aarya, and especially your character as well?
Yeah, that'll take an entire season to explain. But
we don't mind.
If you don't mind, no? And you know what I'll get, right? I'll get Mr. Ram Madhwani calling me on the side and saying, "Sab bata diya to show kaun dekhega?" But Rachit, it's a progressive show, right? So the progression of a character who thought from an impossible position, she was put in a position where she didn't have a choice. Then she still wanted to keep running, protect her children. In this season, in a nutshell, she'll realize two things. One, she has to protect herself. Because if she doesn't survive this, her children are in a very big trouble as it is. So her focus needs to now shift to protecting herself for the sake of everyone. And second, वो भागना बंद कर देगी. और शेर की वैसे भी आदत नहीं होती है भागने की. लेकिन अगर वो रुक जाए and decides to just face it, then you have a whole new season. And I think Aarya in this season stops running. She just decides enough is enough.
Okay. You know, Aarya is symbolic of both a survivor and the proverbial strong woman. And we all know, that second theme of being a woman who's very strong and a woman of substance, that's pretty much, relatable to your personal life as well, your real persona as well. What I'm interested in is that survivor part. Does that also relate to your real life? Do you also sort of identify with that survival instinct, that survivor story?
Absolutely. I think, I don't think that is gender centric necessarily, but I do feel like women have very strong survival instinct. And I am no exception to that. I just think that I would prefer not to be in a situation where you have to think of survival, but I promise you I've been there, done that. And that which doesn't kill you makes you stronger is bang on. And I'm living proof of the fact that the more you can endure, the more capacity you have to survive, the stronger your conviction gets that it's possible.
Right.
True that.
Right. Sushmita, I've personally always believed women are stronger than men, both physically and emotionally.
I'm not saying it. You're saying it.
Yes, of course, I'm saying it. So, that's something that I would want to sort of ask you, because, you've always sort of symbolized, you've always personified that strong woman. So, question being, where do you think women derive this extra strength, this extra maturity, this resilience, this understanding? Where do you think this stems from in a woman?
Lovely question. And as much as I love the compliment to all womankind, Rachit, I kind of believe that strength is present in both. I think as human beings, it's there in everybody. What makes women is that by virtue of so many different complications and the immense amount of tolerance a woman has to go through on a physical, emotional, social level from the time that she's born, she has a reservoir of strength, because strength isn't always portrayed outwards. Strength is what sustains you.
Yeah.
मतलब एक इंसान थक हार के क्विट कर जाता है, और एक इंसान है जो एक के बाद एक स्टॉर्म फेस करता चला जाता है, और जब वो स्टॉर्म चले जाते हैं फिर उठ के खड़ा हो जाता है. That's a woman that I would credit to the fact that there is a very deep reservoir of tolerance. So you don't quit easy. You can take a lot. You can endure a lot. Sometimes I think that's a bad thing, because if you didn't endure so much, you could be, what we keep talking about, gender equality, where you voice your opinion, you voice your concern, you voice the pain. But everything has a plus and a minus. I think it's the tolerance and the reservoir of depth.
Right. That's a damn good answer. Okay, I mean, I know you're used to sort of playing characters of substance, and of course, I mean, they must be appealing to you more.
Yeah.
But hypothetical question over here: what if somebody offers you a character that's not symbolic of a very strong woman?
Right.
What will it take for you to say yes to that character?
It should be author-backed.
Okay.
I ain't playing a sidekick. That's not happening.
Okay.
So if I have to put in the work, see, that's my job as an actor. It becomes, you're right, easier for someone to watch me as a strong woman and say, see, now that's Sush and that's Aarya, and I see it. But to play someone who is a lot more submissive, now that's my job. And I would need a fantastic director to be able to pull that out of me, and a great team, because you can't do this in isolation. But can I do it? Of course I can do it. I better be able to do it. But I will need it to be author-backed.
A lot of actresses have sort of done roles that don't really signify strong women, but by virtue of essence of their performances, or by virtue of how flawed the character is, it becomes great. So have you been offered such a character that you've not been able to do? Has it ever happened?
So in many years ago, there was a film called BV Number One,
right,
where nobody wanted to play Rupali, and it wasn't the author-backed role, and yet it was the only one that stood out. So yeah, I've experienced that many times, including Filhal. Beautiful film, ahead of its times, but beautiful film. No, of course, depends on the maker, depends on where you are at your life and your career. When I was 21, 22, I was great at taking risks and saying, we'll see with this and that and whatever. But as I've gotten older and I do lesser work, I can't be doing that anymore. I want to invest 6 months of my life doing something that I can make count. So when I know that is happening, I take exactly 5 seconds to say yes. So I now have a parameter of how I choose that. And I say yes, not just because it's author-backed. It's a team, it's the subject, the people essentially behind it. And of course, the fact that I'm going to be jumping out of bed every day of those 6 months saying, Mujhe ye karna hai. I want to do this. So yeah, I think at 46, this is where I'm at. I need to be able to do that.
So Sushmita, you're playing a mother, so I'm pretty sure your daughters, Renee and Alisah, they've seen the show. What sort of reactions have they given? What new did they see in their mom while they were watching Aarya?
I think Renee had seen me do films when she was a baby. She was on the sets. I was still working. So for her, it was like, yes, finally you're doing something that you should have been doing all this time. Alisah, on the other hand, jab se wo paida hui thi, I was not filming, and I wanted to be a hands-on mom and be with her through the formative years. Very important to me. तो ये बड़ी होते होते अलीसा जी मुझे कहती थी कि लोग आपके साथ तस्वीरें क्यों खिंचवाते हैं. So I said, मैं एक्ट्रेस हूँ, आज मिस यूनिवर्स. तो मिस यूनिवर्स तो बहुत पुरानी बात है, और एक्टिंग तो आप करते नहीं हो, तो फिर क्यों फोटो खिंचवाते हैं लोग आपके साथ. So I was like, ये ठीक है, I'm trying to be with my baby and do this, and she thinks that mama doesn't do anything. So when she watched Aarya season 1, she turned around and said, I think you're a very good actress. And honestly, that was the first medal I received, because after 10 years of hiatus and going away and trying to be a hands-on mom, to coming back to an art form and believing that with the right team, with the right mehnat, I can come back. You know, it's like driving, you never forget. But God's been very kind, and my kids are now super proud, as are their friends, because they're showing off big time. My mom is Aarya. So I think it worked out well, Rachit.
That's very nice. That's very nice. Great, Sushmita. I think we'll wrap up this interview. Thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.
And